Hello there, Reject Nation. I'm Greg Alba.
I'm John Humphrey.
We have gotten back from Comic-Con late last night. Brake pads don't work, cat is sick, and still gotta catch up on YouTube and Patreon to-dos. It's a good week coming ahead of us. Haha! Block everything with sarcasm. We're gonna catch up with The Witcher today. Before we go into that, I wanted to say thank you to the folks over at Dark Web. Once again, probably the last time I'm gonna mention this, for sponsoring some videos for our channel last week, and of course, inviting me to moderate your panel for your 8-episode exclusive series on Amazon. The panel was a lot of fun, a whole lot of fun. Might be able to upload some clips onto our Patreon page. Thank you to everyone who came out for that. This show is a serialized anthology series where it follows a story about a missing person, but every episode weaves in a tale from the dark web. They're all so damn unique. The response has been so damn positive. We attended the screening for the first night where they premiered the first 4 episodes in front of a live audience. It was fun just watching that crowd react to so much of what was going on in the show. A whole lot of people lined up to do the Q&A, and there's already a bunch of positive reviews up on Amazon. So yeah, I'm happy to have worked with you guys. Thank you again, and please go check out Dark Web. And then afterwards, prepare yourself for The Witcher.
Remember hearing stories about witches. Is it true what they say?
Elves are the original sorcerers of the continent. When humans and monsters arrived, elves taught humans how to turn chaos into magic. And then the humans slaughtered them.
Chaos is the most dangerous thing.
I forget it's a book.
But without control, chaos will kill you.
So that's all life is to you? Monsters and money?
It's all it needs to be.
Something out there waits for you.
This child will be extraordinary.
Jennifer, imagine the most powerful woman in the world. Do you have what it takes?
She's why they came. You can't outrun destiny just because you're terrified of it. It's coming.
Fight to get out of here. I can't do this without you.
No matter what you choose, you'll come out bloody.
Whoa. I was gonna say, let's get some monsters in
Demon
there.
possession, black sclera eyes.
Oh yeah.
You know it's a demon when you got that going on.
And then the like weird veiny sort of underskin. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So if this turns out great, is this going to be considered a great adaptation of the book, or is it going to be considered the first great video game adaptation?
I think it's gonna carry an asterisk, and it's gonna be kind of acknowledged for sort of doing both until they start to go into exact game territory, at which point the asterisk will go away.
No, how interesting.
I know.
What'd you think of the show, John?
I mean, it's kind of what I expected based on what's been described to me. I know this is what Netflix wants to be their Game of Thrones, and they want it to, I imagine, also rival their Lord of the Rings show that's coming out from Amazon. So, I mean, it definitely looks like it has that production value, that scope. I like the look of Henry Cavill, and I like that they keep him kind of mysterious in this trailer. I know some people have complained about the lack of dialogue he gets in this.
Why? Is that really what people have been doing? I haven't followed any news on what's going on with Henry Cavill.
Not a bunch, but I know some people were like, oh, he only gets like one line. But yeah, I don't know. Is it just an intro to the world and an intro to the lore? I thought it was pretty cool. I'm still, gonna wait for the show to see what makes it truly unique. I like the idea of having a Game of Thrones style show with more monster focus, and seeing that big creature at the end got me probably the most excited.
I think with what Game of Thrones has done, they've really established themselves as what whatever show takes place at a time period like this will automatically be called like they're trying to do their own Game of Thrones. But weirdly, wasn't Flash in a Game of Thrones during this? Maybe because it's so fantasy heavy, this series. And I remember like with Game of Thrones in the beginning, it's not very fantasy heavy. It's like light fantasy, and then there's more fantasy that slowly gets infused over time. Where here, this seems to be really leading with that. You know, monsters, a lot of action, a lot of superpowers presented throughout, and that all looks really cool to me. I would have liked to have seen, I guess the only missing ingredient for me from this trailer was a little bit more of its hard R-esque type of qualities here. You know, because I haven't played the Witcher video game. I've seen a lot of footage from it. I've seen a lot of gameplay footage from it. You know, pretty violent. You know, there's a lot of nudity in there.
Violence, a lot of sex, a lot of exploitable elements.
I'm like, let's see some of that. I mean, not maybe some sexual stuff, not because you know how YouTube can be. I want that to be confirmed, and I want all that to really be at play here to really push the boundaries in terms of what you do with a Netflix show. Henry Cavill is doing, I guess I'm not upset by the lack of dialogue because he's doing exactly what I'd expect him to do with this role. Just brooding and sexy, and the wig doesn't look awkward, and in terms of movement, he looks cool. The two girls that they were really focusing a lot on in this trailer, they look great. They look like more of the stars of the show. They look awesome here.
Oh yeah, well I guess that's going to be part of the main tale as he sort of meets up with these two. I know one of them's like a princess and they're basically on this journey together. So I'm also, you know, curious about what the relationship drama is going to be like with them, you know, if he has to take on some kind of fatherly role or learn to look out, if he's going to be like gruff and be like, I don't need you guys, you're going to slow me down, but then, you know, maybe becoming more of a character or something.
I wonder with this series if they're going to be with people who haven't played the game or the books are going to be more inclined to go and play the game to prepare for the show or read the books to prepare for the show.
I've heard it said that this is directly, I think, based on the books that precede the games. So if you're playing the games to prepare, from what I understand, you're probably not going to be
You're wasting your time.
You'll get the world, but maybe not
Don't
the lore.
play the video games.
I mean, play the video game.
And in terms of, you know, like the comparison to things like Game of Thrones, the upcoming Lord of the Rings show, this looks on par in terms of production design. I think the lighting in this show is quite striking. This seems to be maybe not up there with Game of Thrones, but above shows like Vikings, which already look amazing. You know, just like one quality notch above it all.
I wonder if people who make these period epic shows like start to borrow each other's sets after a while. They're like, no, I'll just tear that down. We'll just change a couple of the walls, and we'll use this castle, and then we'll use this epic ridge or something like that. You know.
Well, I guess what I have no idea how this show will play out in terms of is its tone and pacing. That's something that I think can be very important for a show like this to work.
It's going to be 6 episodes.
No, is it 6 episodes? It's 8 episodes. Oh, you're making a
I'm going
final
for
season.
Final season.
Okay.
There we go. Everyone's favorite joke.
It's 8 episodes, I think. Yeah, according to everyone's IMDb. Except for one person who's credited for 9 here.
There's a clip show episode hosted by that one character.
It's an 8-episode series, which I feel like is the right amount.
8 to 10 has become the sweet spot.
Yeah, and I think for this show that would be perfect. But there seems to be a lot of chaotic things going on. I imagine some stuff is being told through explaining former legacies before we're at the time that we're at now. I just would like this show to, you know, not be boring, but take its time.
Developing its world and its mythologies, and really jumping you in and not just assuming that you are a diehard fan of either Witcher 3 or the books.
Well, that would be the biggest mistake they make, is only servicing that. You have to reintroduce this to a bunch of people, but there's also seems to be so much craziness in terms of supernatural things at play. The thing I am concerned about is the tone and pacing of the show.
Yeah, totally. I mean, fans seem pretty excited about it, so that gives me hope.
From everything I've seen, I'm like, this looks like things I've seen before.
Yeah, exactly. This looks like what I know about The Witcher.
And that's exciting, but at the same time, that's not, even for those fans, it won't be enough by the time it comes to dedicating 8 hours of television. It's gotta be good. All right, guys. Well, are you excited for The Witcher? Leave your thoughts down below. Thanks for letting us cover this late. Just kind of impossible to cover everything. Really underestimated how to do it all. Subscribe to The Real Rejects, click that notification bell. And also I'd like to give a Patron of the Day shout out to a man named Philip J. Smith Jr. Here we go. I'm gonna read our messages. Check out how intense and long they are. I'm like, hey Philip, it's Greg. How are you, buddy? Thanks for pledging to our Patreon page. I see we owe you a shout out in our future vid. Help us give you a proper one, mate. Where are you from? Long Island, New York. Oh, awesome! I have some family out there. What would you say your passion is in, amigo? Being a volunteer firefighter, helping people out. Oh, dude, that's awesome!
You just keep adding exclamations.
Literally, the only other career I've ever considered outside of film is being a firefighter. What do your parents do for a living? Both my parents are retired now.
That was 23 minutes of this recording.
Wow.
So
Clearly, he shares the same enthusiasm for talking with me as I do with him.
maybe he's just really nervous. You know, he doesn't want to embarrass himself in front of you. He doesn't want to say something silly.
I'm glad you're a volunteer firefighter. That's something I wish I volunteer for anything. So the fact that you volunteer for something is beautiful to me. Firefighting is like the coolest of the law enforcement. If any cops or paramedics, I don't know if it's law enforcement. Public
services, yeah, I don't know what to call. It's not a law that things shouldn't be on
Helping
fire.
out.
It's just a good advice, you know?
Whatever, you got the coolest one. Philip, thanks for being here. Hope you appreciate your shout out because you gave me plenty to work with. Woo!